Americans that you're legit about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, then go to the agency, for example, that's failed the last 8 or 9 audits, and that's the military. But they won't touch the things
100%.
that are.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Brian Tyler Cohen destroying Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo is talking about how Vance wants this DOGE employee. Brian Tyler Cohen has some things to say about it. Let's get into it.
Brian Tyler Cohen, progressive YouTuber, friend of show, posted a tweet about this today in response to Vance's call to rehire the DOGE employee. He wrote, the husband of an Indian-American wife and the father of 3 Indian-American kids wants to bring back the staffer who posted normalize Indian hate. Brian joins me now. It's good to see you, young man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Chris.
So here's the counter. Yes, he has to defend him because you and your brothers and sisters, or whatever they call themselves, want to cancel everyone who says anything you don't like. It's not enough to disagree. It's not enough for them to have to apologize. God forbid anybody apologize because you kill them with that. But you want to cancel them. And that's what you guys are about. And it's out of step with the compassion of the American psyche. And people are against you on it. And that's why Vance has taken the other side.
I mean, think about what that looks like in practice here. This desperation to push back on cancel culture, right? Thanks to Vance now, you have this DOGE employee whose stated position is that Indians should feel hated in America. He's going to be rehired, and then Vance gets to go home to his Indian American wife and his Indian American kids and look them in the eyes and say that a guy who wants you to feel uncomfortable in your own country now has a top job again in the government thanks to me. Like, Vance had a chance to defend his own family, and he opted instead to defend the Indian-hating bigot instead. Like, Chris, where are the balls on these Republican men? Trump calls Ted Cruz's wife ugly. Ted Cruz becomes Trump's best friend. Elon wants the DOGE kid who hates Indians back, and Vance does his bidding while his Indian wife and kids are at home. Like, do they castrate these guys at the door of the RNC?
They have to pick a side, Brian, because this is what you guys do. Look, I see it. I think you got high ground here because this guy is a real one. He is a bigot. And I guess Vance, because he's married to an Indian woman and his kids are half Indian, he has portfolio to say, I can treat this guy any way I want because I'm the one being affected by his hate, not you. Okay, but I see the same thing in you guys, how you're assessing the executive orders. Everything Trump wants to do has to be illegal and wrong. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Everything Musk is doing has to be wrong. And I feel like you guys get...
And at this point, it really doesn't matter, what the people on Trump's team are saying. Maybe last term, he might have cared a little bit, or the public might have cared a little bit. But now at this point, you have these news stations that they just back any of the idiocy that is talked about from the second term. We have Elon Musk, doing a Sig Heil. That is going to get talked about in a positive, or not in a positive light, but defended for at least. These different machines are now going to back anything that's going on. I would like to see how Chris Cuomo reacts to someone saying anything about maybe Italian hate. Oh, touchy subject, right? But it doesn't matter, I guess as long as it's not you, then not you actually in particular, then you really don't care. You can just be a talking head for the for the upper class, and they can tell you exactly what to say and what to defend. Defend Indian hate. Can you do that for me, Chris Cuomo? Sure, I got you guys. That Brian Tyler Cohen is going in here, and I don't know if he even has a chance to sway Chris Cuomo by any means necessary.
Stuck, not so much with the racist kid. I think you're on the right side of that one. But these 80-20 issues. Trans females in sports, whether you should stand for the anthem, things where most people are like, yeah, you should do that. You guys take the 20 side because Trump's on the 80 side. And I see that was the waste, fraud, and abuse. And I see it as an extension of the same toxic dynamic, if not as ugly an example.
Look, I think that you'll be hard pressed to find Democrats who say if there's legitimate fraud that we have to somehow keep it just because of stasis. But what Elon is doing here is not really doing that. I mean, by taking away USAID, which again, the reason he did it is clear. It's because they were investigating him. I mean, this is just over 0.5% of the budget. It does things like delivers clean water and offers HIV prevention across the world. Not only are those good unto themselves, again, for a fraction of the budget, but they confer goodwill to America across the entire planet. And then that means that when there's global conflicts, we have that goodwill to bank on. When we cede that ground, that gives an opening to countries like China. And so you would think that it's in America's best interest to keep USAID intact. And yet that's not what we're doing. We're instead ceding that ground to China, and that's bad for America, but it's good for one person, and that's Elon Musk, who has business interests in Beijing, who has business interests in Shanghai. And that's just one example, the USAID thing. We're seeing
No, but
countless
it's the right one.
where there are
It's the right one. It's
institutions
the
that
instant.
benefit.
Look,
Go ahead.
of course, a lot of the agencies do good things, Brian, but let's stick with the instant example because it's what we're living right now. Look, my beef, it's not my beef. My challenge is this. They can't get rid of the agency. Congress has to be involved in that. So there's going to be a litigation. That part's going to be on hold. The Democrats seem as though you are completely oppositional to any efforts to do anything. Why not instead Ro Khanna it and say, hey, look, these lists of things that you said in the subscriptions, Republicans and Democrats got those subscriptions from Politico, but if you want them out, that's fine. Let's see what else we can get rid of. We're here for it.
And right here we have Chris Cuomo, who expertly, he just pushes the goalposts a little bit more. He's like, okay, well, I agree with you that they shouldn't be pro-Indian hate or just pro-hatred towards other people. Let's talk about something that I can at least have a shot with. And then he wants to go on about, how Democrats are upset about the USAID. And, well, the issue is, Chris Cuomo, is not that it has anything to do with, what's right and what's wrong. It's clear as day that Trump is just the highest bidder. Whoever is going to pay for Trump is going to get their way. He is being bought out right in front of us. Elon Musk has his hand in everything, and he's really getting a stranglehold on anything that's going on using Donald Trump. He's using Donald Trump to get rid of just these different programs and these different things that he is going to swoop in and benefit off of. Talking about Elon Musk. It's clear as day that it's not so much having to do with Trump at all. It has to do with the fact that he's getting bought out. It has to do with the Trumpism, with whatever is going on now because of Trump. But they won't see that. They definitely won't see that. There's no way to talk to anybody about this because they're literally in the cult sipping Kool-Aid. Brian Tyler Cohen it's obvious that he can see that with Chris Cuomo. Let's keep on going.
You guys don't own waste, fraud, and abuse. We want it gone but no, you oppose it every step of the way. I haven't heard a single Democrat say anything good other than the yeah, but. Yeah, we're against it, but. And then you're against everything they're doing to get rid of it.
I think that if you really want to show Americans that you're legit about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, then go to the agency, for example, that's failed the last 8 or 9 audits, and that's the military. But they won't touch the things that are obvious, that are the obvious 100%. Targets. Instead, when you go after USAID, the agency that is investigating Elon Musk, it shows that you're not serious.
Here we have Brian Tyler Cohen, sort of touch the issue that neither side can't really talk about. We the people can talk about it all day, but neither side, as far as news outlets, will never talk about it. You have Chris Cuomo, who won't touch this topic with a 20-foot stick, 20-yard stick. That's why he immediately dropped it, and we'll cut this clip right here. And then you have Brian Tyler Cohen, who's at least on YouTube, so he can bring it up. But even Brian Tyler Cohen, I've heard, hasn't necessarily talked about, I'm not going to even bring it up because I don't want the YouTube video to get whatever, but it rhymes with genocide and Haza. I'm going to just say that. Maybe it can get through YouTube, whatever. But nobody wants to talk about any of those issues at all. Nobody besides the people, it really does seem like, is angry the fact that they are, it's like $9 billion. It's like a sale that they're doing towards, Israel. But the whole thing is, all of that won't ever get touched by any news outlets at all. But war the military is one of the biggest ways, and they talk about that a lot, but never on the news outlets. You won't ever see that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.